On today's episode of the Views from Section 400 podcast, we have a crazy feast week to recap in college basketball. The new college football rankings are out. Full reaction to that, including if Indiana deserves a spot in the field. As always, our winners and losers of the week, followed by our NFL Week 13 confidence picks and a little bit of a Thanksgiving preview. And we finish it all off with the Michael of the Week. It's a packed show. Happy Thanksgiving, everyone. Let's get right into it.
A16, turn me up.
And just like that, we're back. Views from Section 400, Jack, Brian, and Matt bringing you along for this special episode on Thanksgiving. I can't wait to get into it. Brian and Jack are fired up. Everybody's back home. A little bit stressful travel arrangements, but Views from 400, first ever podcast recorded in the morning. So we'll see how this goes, but I'm sure all the action from the guys will be there. But yeah, happy Thanksgiving. It's finally here. Big day. A lot of food to eat. Brian, Jack, what do you guys have to do?
Right on cue. We got Jack's parents saying hello.
Right on cue.
I think the collective powers, or the collective brain power, as I already misspeak, is probably, we're trending towards E right now, but we're here for the people. Happy to be home. Happy to eat some food today. Gonna be a good time.
Yeah. We're already off to some great starts. Pop's got to go to work.
That's what we do on Thanksgiving week, man. We get it done, we figure it out, and we react and adapt, overcome whatever we got to do to make it work. I carved out a little bit of real estate in the house. Brian back to, you can tell he hasn't been in that house in a while, as he's got Call of Duty Black Ops from 2012, and is that Curtis Granderson, Fathead?
Yeah, we got Grandy, Eli, and Mario Manningham. Or no, that might be Hakeem Nicks. Yeah, that's Hakeem Nicks. Manningham is below me.
Unbelievable stuff. But yeah, it's finally here. Real quick before we jump into the meat of the show, I guess that's on brand. What's your guys' favorite dish today?
It's the mashed potatoes. I'll eat a whole tray.
I'm all in on the stuffing, dude. I fucking love that shit.
Yeah, I'm normally not a dessert guy, but on Thanksgiving, I always save some room for the pumpkin pie. I could probably eat like 5 pumpkin pies.
Dude, I am not a pumpkin pie guy. I feel like pumpkin pie is highly overrated, and I feel like yeah, here we go. You either love it or you hate it. There's no in between. But I lean towards hate than love.
I'm with you, Matt.
All right, well, are you guys light meat on turkey or dark meat on turkey?
Both.
Light.
I can go both.
Jack, what? I just lost some respect's the wrong word, but it's too early to think of the right word, but gotta go dark meat.
If we're being completely honest, I can't tell you the last time I've had a turkey at Thanksgiving that's actually good. So,
well, that's because you're eating the white meat. You're not eating the right part of the turkey.
Well, it doesn't matter what part of the turkey you get. Like, unless you're getting somebody to do it right, it's not good. I'd be having some dry turkey.
It's true. Like, maybe other than maybe a Wawa gobbler, 2 weeks before Thanksgiving, like we really don't eat this food at all during the year, other than on Thanksgiving. So it is nice to grab it. And, I sped it up with my Italian part of the family. So, we do have the core Thanksgiving household items that everybody has, but there's also a little Italian kick with some Italian dishes as well. So I usually tend to go for those anyway. But yeah, it's a big Thanksgiving. I'm happy to be home, happy to relive the childhood memories, I guess, and get this week kicking off. And with the holiday week comes some crazy, crazy college basketball. And I know it's the beginning of college basketball, but it's almost like a March Madness without it being March Madness, dude. I mean, games started yesterday at 11 o'clock in the morning, and they ran all the way till 11 o'clock at night. It's been going like that since Monday, Tuesday, probably today. I'm not sure what's on Thursday, and then Friday as well. But it's pre-March Madness. I don't know if anybody ever thinks of it like that, but it's kind of like that.
Well, with the schedule that Auburn has faced over the past few days, it has felt like a March Madness run, and it's a lot of fun. I mean, you show up, you play the number 5 team in the country, you beat them, you show up the next day, You got a game at 11:35 Eastern. It tipped off last night. Auburn beat UNC, number 12 in the country. So it's felt like a March Madness run. It's a lot of fun.
Yeah, if you're not watching Feast Week in November, don't talk to me about making brackets in March. But yeah, Jack, you mentioned 11:30. That game didn't end until 2 o'clock Eastern time. I was not in the right state of mind writing that recap for the game tomorrow. But the Auburn Tigers, 6-0, first team since 1990 to start 5-0 and beat two top five teams in the AP poll.
Yeah, and we talked about it going into, into December, into January. Like, is this team going to have double-digit losses? And somehow, I mean, look, to be fair, they should have lost that Iowa State game. Ridiculous. I know the magic happens in the
The worst
Hawaiian
half I've
gym.
seen them play in forever.
Yeah, I mean, that was just a ridiculous game in itself. But look, it's trending that maybe they don't have the double-digit losses. I feel a lot better. I feel a lot better about Auburn this year so far than I did last year. But I'm still not going to sit here and say I'm sold. I'm not, not going to pick them in the national championship. It's positive that they're winning in neutral site games, which is crucial for March, but I'm
They gotta
not
say the
quite
road
there.
games.
I'm not quite there yet. I'm just not quite there yet until I really see it. I don't know that I ever will be, but March is a different beast. It's a different animal. And look, positive. I like what they've done so far, but I'm probably not, on board and overboard as much as you guys are, which is fine. Auburn super fans, I get it, but I'm not quite there yet.
Yeah, I will tell you the difference, at least for I mean, really, since they made it to the Final Four, this is the first time they've had an elite scorer at guard. And I know he's a freshman, but Tahad Pettiford is looking like that guy that can create his own offense, which is what they've needed. And you add Denver Jones, who is still great on defense, and now he's finally becoming the scorer he was at FIU. They have guards to go along with Janai Broom, who might win the Wooden Award. He had 23 and 19 last night against the top 12 team or 13 team, whatever they were ranked.
Oh,
I'm not gonna get my hopes up too much, but they're pretty high right now.
yeah. Well, I mean, my whole thing is if you're not going to call it Auburn at this point, who are you going to give it to? I mean, who else has beat a number 4 ranked team, a number 5 ranked team, a number 12 ranked team on neutral sites to start the season? So six
Well,
and out.
it's a good question, but I'm not just because I'm not all in on Auburn doesn't mean I have to be all in on somebody else. I'm just still addressing and assessing the field. Um, Auburn, especially with me betting on them, has had their issues in the past, and I'm not just going to put that aside for a good 6-0 start, a very good 6-0 start to the year after beating top five opponents, which is great. They're on my radar. I'm not all in on any team. I'm still assessing the field.
Fair
Yeah,
enough.
I'll tell you, I'm not all out on them, but I'm starting to trend a little into worried waters here with the with UConn. They lost two in a row here in Maui. They're playing in the seventh place game at Maui. Two-time back-to-back defending champions are playing in the seventh place game.
And I love to see it. Look, Dan Hurley's a great coach, but oh my gosh, his antics on the sideline are just so, so, so immature. It's
He lost
like,
his team a game.
yeah, it's just look, I get it. I get it. That's kind of his personality now, and he has to play into it because that's what he's been built up on. But it's a little too much for me. I get it's college, so you can have those antics a little bit more. But imagine he was doing that on the Lakers as a head coach. Like, how long would that last?
Well, and that's what I was thinking watching the UNC and Auburn game last night. You see Hubert Davis coming over, like pretty much onto the court. There were a couple times he was stepping over that line. When the Auburn guard has the ball at like the top of the 3-point line, goes over towards the sideline a little bit. You see Hubert Davis there breaking down in a defensive stance, like clapping his hands super loud, screaming in our guys' ears. I'm like, is this guy not going to get a tech for this? I mean, say like Bruce Pearl is a very animated coach too. So I'm not trying to say being animated is bad, but stepping on the court, getting in the other team's face, clapping, screaming at them like you're playing defense. I mean, it's Bush League.
It seems like we kind of lost the Bob Knight type of college basketball coach after he retired. and it went more towards the chill. And now it's coming back with the Dan Hurley style of just the aggressive, like, and even Bruce Pearl does it. We've seen Bruce Pearl sweat through his shirt a million times on the Auburn sideline.
Hmm.
But yeah, I mean, if we want to talk about that last night, to credit to Bruce Pearl for not blowing up on the referee because the refereeing in Maui has not been great. Auburn went like the first 11 minutes of the game without getting a whistle that called their way. It's just ridiculous.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
It's been questionable. I mean, this the Maui Invitational. It's the tournament of tournaments right now. I don't know why we don't have the best crews.
Yeah, it's November for the refs too. And last thing in Maui, I do miss Bill Walton. Shout out Bill. They've shown some nice tributes for him. But the Maui Invitational is not the same without Bill Walton.
no, that's a nice shout out to wrap it up there because when you think of Maui Invitational, I mean, you think of him in the Maui polo, sitting on the sideline, doing calling the game. So that's a nice tribute right there by you, Bry.
I saw a tweet. I'm sorry, I forget who it was from, but it was during Auburn Iowa State, and they're like, I wish we had Bill Walton talking about his favorite book here, while Auburn Iowa State were trading buckets down the stretch. I mean, that was just Bill Walton. It's so funny.
Yeah, I mean it's a fun start to college basketball, and usually a lot of the fun comes in March. So if it's already like this, and we're not even in December, I this is going to be a wild year, and I'm here for it, and I can't wait. But we will see how this kind of trends as we get towards the first week of December. But in other news, over the weekend we had, in my eyes, the best team in the NFC. In your guys' eyes, the second best team in the NFC. Put a beat down on the Los Angeles Rams. I think at the confidence board, you guys both had the Rams beating the Eagles. I had the Eagles over the Rams. I'm not scared of that Rams team. Not a threat in the NFC in my eyes. But the bigger headline that needs to be discussed before we jump into the college football playoff here is Saquon Barkley, 255 rushing yards. I mean, this guy's unbelievable. At what point do we start saying, like, yeah, this guy's the MVP of the National Football League?
I think he's up there,
No,
especially with the Ravens losing
How
games
do you
here.
say no?
I can't look. The Eagles roster is so stacked. Nobody's an MVP over there. Like nobody.
What
I mean,
quarterback are
who's
you giving
ahead
it
of
to?
him right now?
Josh Allen?
I would rather have Josh Allen. I would rather have Lamar. Maybe not. I mean
Definitely
You
not
know,
Lamar.
Lamar.
if the Bills finish with the 1 seed in the AFC, I think Josh Allen should get it.
Yeah, they're always going to give it to the quarterback. But look, Saquon Barkley's the MVP of the league right now.
Yeah, he has
He
more yards,
is.
more
Like
rushing yards than the New
you
York
think
Giants.
The Eagles wouldn't be able to operate without Saquon?
I think they would have a lot more of a difficult time doing it, and I think they probably have a couple more losses, which is ironic because one of those losses was kind of solely on Saquon Barkley dropping that fourth down and one pass near the goal line against the Falcons.
Yeah, but you
Yeah.
had other opportunities to win that game.
That's what I mean. That's why I said that, that last play is highlighted by him dropping the ball. Because if he catches that, he walks into the end zone. I mean, if you remember that replay, he was wide
Yeah.
open. He walks into the end zone, but he dropped it. And then the Buccaneers lost. The entire team was out. So, it is what it is. But yeah, I think they have a lot more difficult of a time. It's obviously clear that AJ Brown needs to be on the field and they can operate without Devonta Smith. But when AJ Brown's out and Devonta Smith's in, it's also way, way tougher. But AJ Brown and Saquon Barkley are must starts, must haves on the field for this team to operate at a high level.
Yeah, and I'll go
Well,
back. I don't want to get into this too deep, but I'll go back to my Jalen Hurts. Couldn't do it without that much talent around him.
He's been playing fine, dude. I have no issue with Jalen Hurts and the way he's been performing, whether you want to get into the nitty-gritty of, oh, what talent does he have, what talent does he not have. I don't care because the GM knows what he needs to put around the quarterback for the quarterback to operate at a high level, and he's doing it. So that's all I have to say on that. The Eagles are what, 8-2, 9-2? I don't even know what the record is. I think 8-2. Yeah, it's looking like a Lions Eagles NFC Championship game, which by the way, both these teams are playing. That game's gonna be awesome.
Yeah,
definitely.
and I mean, you could argue three of the best running backs in the league. There's Derrick Henry, but running backs are back. You got Sonic and Knuckles over in Detroit, and then Saquon for the Eagles.
Yeah, and did you guys see that? We don't have to spend too much time with it, but did you guys see that interview with Jared Goff and like the two running back? A little cringy, man. A little weird. The
I
hell were
didn't
they
see the
doing?
interview.
It was just like weird.
They're
Like
just really going into the Sonic and Knuckles.
it
Interesting.
was. I don't even know how to explain it, Jack. You just gotta watch it and let me know what you thought. But
All right.
yeah. Why don't we jump into the college football playoff here? It's heating up. It's heating up a lot. Jack, you probably have some quick words for us, don't you?
You want a quick word for me? A three-loss SEC team is worth more
Presented
than a
by Bull
one-loss.
Miss.
I wanted you to present it by Bulbous, but it's all good.
Oh, sorry, I'm not looking at the outline right now.
It's all good because the college football recap is presented by Bulbous. It's the 12 days of Bulbous that are back in 2024, 12 episodes in 12 days featuring familiar guests and some new ones. I can't wait to get going. It all starts on Monday, December 16th. Now, Jack, your three-loss SEC team.
Well, Jack, I'm sorry to cut you off here again, but before you say your piece, the Auburn Tigers Bulmus episode is back from the dead. It's the Undertaker meme. We're a win away from getting an Auburn Bulmus episode.
Brian, stop doing this to yourself. Stop. You think this is the year we go into T-Town and beat Bama?
I mean, apparently Demarcus Riddick thinks so. He said we're never losing to Bama while he's there.
I did see that, but look, I'm not getting my hopes up. I do understand if Bama somehow screws up this game and Auburn gets the win, we get to go to a bowl game, but I'm not getting my hopes up.
It's I guess we're playing spoilers still too, because the committee somehow ranked Bama as the second team out here.
Yeah, that was look, I get it. They're the big name, but you're right. They have three losses. I was gonna say right before I got cut off by our ad read. A three-loss SEC team. You look at some of the three-loss SEC teams like Bama, Ole Miss, South Carolina, and they're 10 spots lower than a one-loss Big Ten team like Indiana or Penn State. I don't like it.
Well, I mean, they didn't lose to five-loss Vanderbilt or five-loss Kentucky.
Don't care. They've also beaten good teams
Yeah,
who are actually worth salt. Like, what
listen,
has
I think
Indiana done? You won't get me off this ship. What has Indiana done? Nothing.
I think the discussion is kind of turned on the SEC where people are just sick of them. So they're just going to talk about the bad losses. But at the end of the
Of
day, you have to
course.
understand this is the best conference, and they're going to lose a lot of games because they're playing. Like a five-loss Vanderbilt is better than a lot of teams in the middle or honestly the upper part of the Big Ten.
Yeah,
Uh,
dude, Vandy against Indiana. That would be a good matchup.
yeah,
As
neutral
much
site.
as much as I was rooting for Indiana last week, I said it on last week's pod. They played nobody, and their best win was against a five-loss Michigan team, and it couldn't be more true after watching that Ohio State game. It was just Ohio State was far and away the better team. I kind of zoned out a little bit there. I don't know if you're still advocating for Indiana to be in the playoff, Brian, but that should not be the case after watching what you watched on Saturday.
They were on the road against the second best team in the
Oh my
country.
God. Dude, eye test, man. Like put the record aside, use your eyes and make a judgment call. They're okay, they're a competitive team. They're not good enough to hang with the best and the best. I think they lose to everybody in that playoff. Everybody that's
Well,
in the playoff seating right now. Every
okay,
single
but
one. Even
the
Boise
amount of
State.
times we've seen in the 14 playoff, the four seed get completely boat raced by the one seed. Like that happens. As the 10 seed, you're not expected to beat the top teams, especially when you're on the road.
Right. I just think there's better teams out there that have had tougher schedules, regardless of them having won two losses. Like it's been tougher schedule. Like I would argue that Ole Miss is probably a better team than Indiana.
And South Carolina and
I
Bama.
just, I mean, you could say that, but if you lose one game in the Big Ten, you're going to get in the era of the 12-team playoff. And if you agree, or if you don't agree that they're a good enough team to be in, that's fine. But like they have one loss in the Big Ten. You can't hold them out of a 12-team playoff with one loss in a major conference.
But that's like so I don't know the right verbiage to use here, but like you're just saying like, oh, in the Big Ten, so one loss, you got to put them in. But it's like, can you like open the book and see what that Big Ten was? They played the bottom half of the Big Ten. Like, I get it, the Big Ten is the Big Ten, but like when you play all the worst teams and your best win being against a five-loss team, and then you finally play a team at the top of the Big Ten and you get the brakes blown off you, how can you say, oh, one loss Big Ten team, you got to put them in when you dig a little deeper and realize that, oh shit, it kind of was manipulated for them to only have one loss.
Well, yeah,
But again,
the Big Ten is just not a deep conference versus the SEC, where you have what was it, six teams in the top 15. Still even after the
Right.
rankings released, six of the top 15 are SEC teams, and
So with that logic, though,
but
of the
you
Big Ten not
cannot
being deep, how can you say, oh, one loss when we know it's not that
you
deep? Oh, one
cannot
loss,
punish
put them in.
teams for beating the people in front of them. In the era of the 12-team playoff, if
It's
you have
not
one loss and
punishing
you
them,
don't get
though.
in, it is. It's not their fault. These teams aren't good. If they beat the team in front of them and have one loss in the era of the 12-team playoff, you deserve to have a spot in the playoff.
how about
Beat
zero
Ohio
losses?
State. Beat Ohio State. Beat
If
Ohio State, you're in. Lose, and you're out.
if they beat Ohio State, they're probably getting a bye.
Yeah.
They're getting a 10 seed now. They're not getting an easy game, but they lost one game. They deserve to be in the playoff.
I remember a team who had zero losses that didn't make the
That
playoff.
was four. That was the four team. If it's 12, they're in.
And got the brakes blown off them in that second game. Oh, but they were checked out, and everybody was ready for the draft. 70-point blowout loss, but it's all good.
Are we still
Um,
talking about that bowl game with the high
yeah.
school players?
Yeah, dude, I think it's funny how they just like chalk it up, but like having all these guys would have made up for 70 points. I feel like that just
That's
gets
not the
thrown out the
point.
window. I know it's pick and choose. It's all good. Brian, why is the Big 12 a mess?
Well, there are still 8 teams eligible to win the conference championship, and the first or the spot that goes along with it.
I wouldn't call that a mess. I would call that awesome.
Yeah, no, it is awesome, but they all have. I mean, speaking of losses, every team has at least two. We can see a three-loss Big 12 team getting that
Tougher,
12 seed.
deeper conference.
Well, it reminds me a little bit of the National League wildcard race in the middle of in the middle of the summer, where it's just this mosh pit of mediocrity. But Colorado looks kind of dead, and maybe Travis Hunter's Heisman hopes are dead because of it. I'm still rooting for BYU.
Is Ashton Genty a lock for the Heisman?
A lock, no, but I think he should win it.
If Boise State holds on, which they probably will, to that first round bye, I think you have to give it to them.
And
They're getting
so
a bye.
it's
The
interesting.
Big 12 stinks. They'd be the fourth best conference champion.
It's interesting because at least in years past, that Heisman ceremony is usually like that second week of December. Is it still second week of December? Because I was going to say, is it just going to be like, oh, they got the first round bye, and then that's what they're going to be judged on? Because what if maybe they win a game at like they have to play they have the first round bye, then that second round they win a game. I feel like that would all but solidify him as the Heisman. But maybe they don't take into account that towards the Heisman voting, since it's technically everybody in the country, and obviously everybody doesn't make the playoff.
Yes, it's the Heisman is on the 14th, and I believe the first round is the day after.
Okay.
But yeah, no, that makes sense because they're still postseason games, even though they're at campus sites, at least the first set of them.
Look, it'd be fun, right? Boise State, fun, colorful team. They got the crazy field.
And people
Ashton
forget
Genty,
they lost to Oregon by 3. Like they almost beat Oregon.
Yeah, Boise's a much better team than Indiana.
That's why they have a bye.
I can agree with that to the max. But yeah, I'm not going to sit here and look. They can put this all to bed. Who does Indiana have rest of the way? Because it can all get put to bed if they drop another game, or is it
No,
cupcake bottom
they have
of the?
they have a cupcake to finish.
Yeah, I don't think it's a good team at all.
So
No,
they'll finish with one loss, and
no,
we never
no,
know.
no conference
Could be a
game.
road game though, and then you never know. They oh no, they have Purdue at home. Yeah, that's on senior day under the lights. They're not losing that game.
They're not losing that game. Purdue's what, 1-10?
They have a couple wins. Oh no, they are one
No,
and
they
10.
don't. I was
They
gonna
are one
say
and 10.
they have a couple wins. This guy.
I thought
No,
they beat. Or no, they lost to Illinois in overtime. I
yep.
thought they beat Illinois.
Another bottom feeder of the Big Ten. Throw them Indiana's way.
Yeah.
It's what it
Myers is
is.
not going to be happy listening to this one.
I mean, he can be unhappy all he wants. We're not making shit up here. It's what it is. It's facts. It's just what it is, dude. They had their one shot against Ohio State. Put up or shut up. And they I don't care if it's on the road, this, that, the third.
This
Hey,
could be a
got.
competitive game. Purdue's. I mean, they're 1 and 10, but they lost to Illinois in overtime, and they lost to Northwestern in overtime.
Yeah,
If
but
you guys
senior
think
day under
Indiana's
the
that
lights.
bad, then maybe they have a shot here.
Battle
Maybe
of the
it's
mids.
close, but I don't think they're like a bad team. I think they definitely should be ranked. I just think the top 12 teams that are going to make the playoffs are all better, and a couple of those 13, 14, 15 teams outside looking in are also better. And I'm allowed to have that opinion, Brian. So
Yeah,
that's
you
that.
are. I think you're. I don't think you're wrong there. I just think with one loss, you deserve to make the field.
We're not going to get anywhere going back and forth on this. We can agree to disagree. But I say we move on to a little winners and losers here after a quick word from SeatGeek.
The weather may be getting cold late in the year, but the sports action is heating up. With the final stretch of the football season upon us and basketball season now here, the only place to go for the best tickets for each game is SeatGeek. SeatGeek is the official sponsor of the Views from Section 400 podcast, and whether you're looking to sit courtside of the Sixers game, find a last-minute deal up in Section 400 for the Iron Bowl, or looking to just cheer on your alma mater in a preseason basketball tournament, SeatGeek's one-of-a-kind system helps you find the best deal for the best seats in the house. Use code VIEWSFROM400 at checkout for $20 off your first purchase. Again, that's code VIEWSFROM400 at checkout for $20 off your first purchase. SeatGeek, your best night ever is waiting. And now, winners and losers.
It's the winners and losers of the week. Thanks for SeatGeek for sponsoring us there. Yeah, Thanksgiving winners and losers. Nothing like it. But Bri, why don't you kick us off with a winner? Jack, give us a winner, and then I will wrap it up with a nice winner. What do you got for us?
Well, I know they've lost a few games recently here, but the Golden State Warriors are my winner of the week because they are going to win the NBA championship. The last 4 times Kendrick Lamar has released a full-length project, the Golden State Warriors have won the NBA title. 2014-15 To Pimp a Butterfly, 16-17 Damn, 17-18 Black Panther, 21-22 Mr. Morale. And of course, now we have GNX out of nowhere. Kendrick just released it without any promotion. But yeah, the Warriors are going to win the title again.
Look,
I'm not doing it. I'm not doing it.
Is it
I'm all
Toyota
in
gone all
for
over again?
I'm all in for these weird analogies, trying to loop pop culture into sports teams winning championships. I'll loop politics into it. Last time Donald Trump won, the Eagles won the Super Bowl. So yeah, I'm all on board. All on board, man. And it's trending beautifully right now for the Eagles.
I'm not
Yeah,
getting behind either of those.
I think the Trump thing's a little harder to get behind just because it was one time. This was 4. But if it happens
Okay,
again,
but let's not act like these are the only 4 times Kendrick Lamar has ever released an album. How about all the
they're,
other years?
they're the last 4.
Oh, okay. There you go. You might have me on that.
Yeah, and I think Good Kid, Mad City, and I forget what his first uh, project was called, but that was pre Steph Curry.
Okay. Okay. There you go. Well, I get it. He's a Cali guy, so it gives the Warriors a little bit of a boost.
For sure. But Jack, what's your winner of the week today, dude?
Yeah, my winner's actually also coming out of California. It's going to be the Cal Equipment Manager. I don't know if you
Dang.
guys saw this, but after the game, everyone's on this. They storm the field. There's people all over the place. Some fan tries to go over to the Cal sideline, grab a helmet, and he does so successfully. But as soon as he grabs that helmet, he takes off in a dead sprint across the field. And the equipment manager for Cal saw it happen. You see 2 guys, like everybody's on the field, they're storming the field, they're all partying, jumping, and then you see these 2 guys sprinting across the field. Equipment manager ends up getting there, full on suplex, takes the dude down, gets the helmet back. But the main reason, not only was it sick that he did that, but then today the coach brings him into the film room and has the whole entire team and staff there. Everyone's watching the play or the play. The equipment manager tackled this random fan for the helmet on the projector, and all the players got super hyped for him. Let out a huge boom when he took him down. I mean, just awesome, so
Well,
awesome.
someone made the edit of the play, or I guess I could call it the play, but with the "Here Comes the Boom" sound track, and I think that's what the coach played, and they were all getting hyped to it. It was a cool moment.
So cool. Way to do your job.
Yeah, I honestly I didn't see that, but that sounds pretty ridiculous.
Yeah, no, that man is keeping the equipment manager job for as long as he wants it.
As
Oh
long
yeah,
as he
no,
wants
he just bought himself a one-way ticket to become like the assistant coach.
Honestly,
maybe
can
the
they
head
can they
coach,
give?
dude.
Do they have NIL allocation for equipment managers?
Man, yeah,
They
they
do
probably
now.
should. Yeah, could you imagine if he catches an NIL deal from this?
I mean,
So
strike
you
iron
got to
while it's
start
hot, right?
somewhere. Yeah, you got to start somewhere.
This is his viral moment.
Viral moment. But no, I mean, dude, my winner of the week here kind of takes away from the world of sport and goes on brand to what today is, man. It's America. Today's Thanksgiving. It's the food, it's the family, it's the vibes. It's what it's all about, dude. We not saying we live for this moment and think about this moment every day of the year, but it's a time to be thankful and grateful and appreciate everything we have, not only as a country, but that we have for family. It's the greatest country in the world. I'm so happy to be here, and we're, I think, the only ones who get to celebrate this holiday. Thanksgiving is American. It's not universal. It's American. So big ups for America celebrating Thanksgiving. Like I said, the food, the vibes, the family time. I'm thankful and grateful for it all. Yeah, that's my winner of the week.
I love it. Family, faith, and football. That's what Thanksgiving's all about, baby.
Damn right. Can't get any better, any more American than that.
Amen.
You think the Harbaugh dinner table is going to be a little awkward at Thanksgiving after?
I think maybe 20
John,
years ago, but I think they've grown past like that weird maybe animosity or awkwardness. I think that they're obviously well into adulthood and very developed and mature. Maybe a little bit of teasing jokes for
John
sure.
is 3-0 against Jim now.
I was gonna
Like
say
I
if
said, maybe some teasing jokes, but I think they've grown past you know that crazy beef. But who knows? It's behind closed doors.
yeah, if they didn't fall apart as a family after the Super Bowl, and one John beating Jim in the Super Bowl, if they're still together now, still going strong, I don't think a week 12 loss is really going to shake the feathers of Jim. So they're going to be fine.
It's a big game. All those Chargers industry plant fans were very sad.
Yeah, look, it was a huge game. The Chargers are playing good ball right now. The Ravens are playing good ball right now. Either of them could have won that game, but look, you got to give John credit. He's just outdone his brother to this point.
It's tough to have losers on Thanksgiving. So I don't know about you guys. I didn't go loser. I'm not giving out a loser. I can't on Thanksgiving. It won't sit right with me. I'm sure Brian did. So Brian, what's your loser, dude? Because I know you're all about the losers.
Yeah, it's Alabama football. They have never beaten Auburn in Tuscaloosa without Nick Saban as the head coach. And that's a little misleading because they played in Birmingham for a long time. But they've never beaten Auburn in Tuscaloosa without Nick Saban.
That's actually a hell of a stat. I never would have thought that that was the case.
Well, it's
It
going to
makes
change this weekend.
it makes it seem like Nick Saban's been there for 50 years.
He was there for a while. Might as well be
He's
so
there
far.
for a while. Might as well have been 50.
I know, but
Look, it'll all change this weekend, right?
Yeah,
yes.
maybe. I haven't looked at the spread yet, but DeMarcus Riddick said he's never losing. So I
What
don't
is
know.
the spread? What
Got to be like
outrageous number?
17. There is Auburn has not kept it a two possession, or they've kept it a two possession game once since 2014 when it's been in Tuscaloosa. So that's not great.
No, it's
But let's
not.
look at the spread real quick here. That'd be hard. It's 11 and a half.
I was going to guess 14.
Dude, I mean, Bama's look bad. That's the only thing. It is the rivalry game of it being the Iron Bowl, but oh my gosh, that might just be enjoy the tradition of the Iron Bowl and stay the hell away because holy smokes.
Peyton Thorne has more passing yards and passing touchdowns than Jalen Milroe this season, and one less.
And a better completion percentage.
Listen, Auburn's not a very good football team, but Alabama's not a very good football team either. Taylor
Brian, are you
DeBoer,
going all in on that 11.5?
I think I'm gonna have to.
I don't blame you. I kind of like Auburn plus 11.5 there.
No, I'll probably just sprinkle the money line. I want an Auburn bonus episode.
I know you do. But you can't have everything you want.
Yeah, well, I can try.
Well, Matt, you talked about it. I'm not giving out losers today either.
Nah,
I
dude. Only Brian does that. Only Brian brings down the bad vibes on the American holiday.
I came prepared. I came prepared with two winners. And I know we already sort of talked about it a little bit, but it's Auburn basketball. That's if I get a chance to hammer on the nail.
Is your loser?
No, winner.
No,
winner, two winners.
He's saying he's giving out two winners.
Double winner. That's okay. I can respect that. Threw me for a loop for a second. Even that would have had me spinning.
No, I know, but look, I mean, we already talked about it, so I don't want to get too into it, but wins against, at the time, number 4 in the country, number 5 in the country, number 12 in the country. We're only 6 games into the season, and we've got 3 top 12 wins. This Auburn team's legit. As Brian said earlier, Janai Broome might win the Wooden Award. Went 23-19 last night, just an absolute force on the glass.
They've covered in every game but one, and that was Iowa State. And every game that's not been against a ranked opponent, they've won by at least 20. They're really good at basketball.
It's looking
We talked
really
about
good.
it in the open. It's an encouraging start, positive start. Trending towards being all in, but like I said, just not quite there yet. I'm still adjusting the field. It's early. We're not even in December yet. But
6 games in. I get it.
I'll leave it in. I was thinking about doing a double winner. The only other winner I was going to throw out is Saquon Barkley, 250 yards, because that is just totally and utterly ridiculous. But yeah, that's kind of all I had for winners and losers there. No bad vibes for me on Thanksgiving. You won't get it. I won't let Brian bring me down in the black hat and everything. Look at this guy, dude. Just what is it's unbelievable. Bad vibes.
I have a Seahawks hat at my parents' house. I almost wore that just to
fun.
mess with you after that game, but
that would have been fun.
Don't think it fit the color scheme.
No, it didn't. But good stuff there. Thanks again for SeatGeek for running the winners and losers for us. But it's now time to jump into the newest, the hottest, and arguably the best segment that we have running here in Section 400. It's the NFL Confidence Picks. That is always presented by our Views from 400 merch. Shirts are releasing soon on viewsfromsection400.com. That's views from section400.com. Stay tuned for the merch. It's NFL Confidence Picks starts right now. We can run through the standings really quick here because we have some time. The standings rolling into the week. Well, real quick recap because I think I'm on a 2-week streak at best record here, or at least tied. I finished up 9-4 on the week. Brian 8-5, and Jack after a hot start, slowly teetering with that lead. It's he built a nice lead. The guys are catching up. Jack still leader of the clubhouse with 324 points. I come in second, 305, trying to break away from Brian, who's right there at the third spot, 296 points. So Jack, 324. I'm at 305. Brian at 296. I don't know how we did it last time. But yeah, Jack, you're the leader of the clubhouse. We'll let you go first here. Get your picks out of the way.
Sure thing. Yeah. All right, I'll just streak it down for you guys. Lions over the Bears, Chiefs over the Raiders, Bucks over the Panthers, Broncos over Browns, Commanders over the Tits, Rams over the Saints, Colts over Pats, Bills over the Niners, Cowboys beating the Giants, Vikings over the Cardinals, Steelers over the Bengals, Packers over the Dolphins, Ravens over the Eagles, Seahawks over the Jets, Chargers over the Falcons, And last but not least, the game I will be at this weekend, the Jaguars are going to get a home win against the division leader, Houston Texans.
Yeah, I saw that, and then I remembered you're going to the game, so that's fair. But that is Trevor back this week?
He might be back this week.
Okay, if he's back, it's not as egregious of a pick, but
If Trevor
Texans
doesn't
coming off a loss.
play, if Trevor doesn't play, I might not show up to the game. No, I'm kidding. But we're not winning that football game with Mac Jones. He's not an NFL quarterback.
You don't think so?
Mac Jones? No, not an NFL quarterback.
I don't think that's too crazy of a take to have.
Yeah,
He's honestly just there to have fun. Like he's from the Jacksonville area. Like he's just having fun right now on this team.
He grittied in the Pro Bowl once. That was his career highlight.
Yes, it was.
but yeah, I mean, good picks there, Jack. Sorry, trying to put out a fire here. Brian, why don't you give us your confidence picks here?
Yeah, this is what we get for recording in the morning.
Yeah.
I'll go Lions over Bears, Chiefs over Raiders, Texans over Jags is my third most confident here. Commanders over Titans, Rams over Saints, Bills over Niners, Broncos over Browns, Bengals beating the Steelers to keep my Super Bowl future alive, Bucks over the Panthers, Ravens over the Eagles, Colts over the Pats, Packers over Dolphins, Toyotathon, Vikings over Cardinals, Chargers over Falcons. I guess I'm thinking the same way you are, Jack. I'm going Giants over Cowboys and Seahawks over Jets.
Yeah.
Oof. That's your reaction to all that?
I mean,
Yeah, dude.
the Giants are fighting for the number one overall pick. I don't think they're going to mess up and beat the Cowboys.
I think that's exactly why they're going to mess up and beat the Cowboys.
Yeah, I can't get behind.
Also, the Jags are fighting for the number one overall pick here.
We're not though. You guys want a quarterback. We don't. We just want to be a good team.
Yeah, Travis Hunter is looking mighty fine at number one.
Let's save draft talk for another day.
Surprised you went so high on the Bucks versus Panthers, Jack.
Why is that?
Panthers just played really well against the Chiefs at home. Home again against the Bucks team they have Mike Evans back, but it's a divisional game.
Yeah, they got Mike Evans back, and they still won the game by not throwing the football like once. Bucky Irving had like 150 all-purpose yards. They ran it on him however they wanted. What was the final score? 30-7?
37-0, I think. No, the Giants got in. Devin Singletary had 2 carries for 3 yards and a touchdown.
Yeah,
I know.
so
Was Tracy out in that game because that saved me in fantasy. Not
Yeah,
that the game really meant anything, but
He fumbled in the red zone, and then Dable put Singletary in when they got in there.
whenever you get the fumble in the game, man, that's basically
that kid,
kind of screws you over for the rest of the game.
yeah, that
Yeah,
kid's got to stop fumbling.
pretty much sums up my fantasy season.
Well, isn't he a quarterback or wide receiver turned running back?
Yeah, he played wide receiver at Purdue or Iowa, and then transferred somewhere. And I always get him mixed up, but he played wide receiver at one Big Ten team, and transferred and played running back with the team he transferred with.
Yeah, no, but
Gotcha.
And the Giants don't throw him the football.
Chiron. No, it's an
Ridiculous.
incompetent organization, top to bottom.
It's terrible.
It's what it is.
how did
I like-
Tommy Cutlets look?
Horrible.
Well, we'll get to it in Michael of the Week, but he is injured.
Right. I'll run through my picks. There's no need to spend time on that team. I'll kick it off here with the Lions over the Bears, Chiefs over the Raiders, keeping it pretty consistent with what we got. But then I'll jump to the Commanders over the Titans. I think they get a big win to get back on track there. Texans over the Jags. Sorry, Jack, I know you need boots on the ground, but it just is what it is. Texans need to get back on track. Rams over the Saints. Broncos over the Browns. Bucks over the Panthers. I will roll the Bills over the 49ers, who the 49ers, I mean, that nail has got to be into the coffin at this point. Packers over the Dolphins. On Thursday Night Football, I'm hyped for that game. Chargers over the Falcons. Vikings over the Cardinals. My poor Cardinals. The Call of Duty curse is real. Steelers over the Bengals. Patriots over the Colts. I think the Pats are a bad team with a great quarterback. Seahawks over the Jets. Cowboys over the Giants. I think the Cowboys get the win, and they start trying to throw this Cowboys can sneak into the playoffs narrative out there.
That would be wild. I'm just happy they didn't sign Daniel
They,
Jones.
if they win the game, Brian, you know that's going to start getting floated around.
What do they have,
Because if
three
they
wins?
win, they'll be. Yeah, I don't know. I think won't that get them to 5 wins?
I think it'd be four, but hey, the NFC South is terrible, and the North isn't looking as good as it once did.
Yeah, there's that's what they do in Dallas, dude. They win 2 games, and all of a sudden they're going to win the Super Bowl.
Yeah, well, maybe they got Jonathan Mingo there now. You could see their fans get really hyped.
So Matt, how about this Patriots over the Colts? I know you're a big Drake May guy, but you think they get it done against a Colts team that's still trying to, win some football games?
The Colts are just, I don't even know what to think of them, but I like the Patriots are competitive to an extent. I do like Drake May, and I think I said it perfectly. It's a bad quarterback or bad team with a good quarterback.
Could this be a Drake May 300 plus passing yards plus 250, 300 type of week?
Plus 250, 300. That's going to be like plus 1,000.
Hey, Caleb threw for 350 against the Colts.
Yeah.
Yeah, he did. Joe Flacco threw for 350 against the Jags too. So the Colts games tend to have high passing yards on both sides.
Yeah, I remember. Yeah, Trevor threw for a career high against the Colts earlier this year.
Think that might be my favorite pick of the slate. Get some Drake May, good value.
Can't blame you there.
But because of the holiday, might as well all give out a Thanksgiving pick here for the people. I know mine is going to, we already kind of talked about it, but I'm gonna do a little suck and knuckles both to get in the end zone parlay, open up the day before I have my dinner, get some nice little parlay value there.
Yeah, as far as one of my favorite plays of the day, probably gonna be the Lions and Bears over. And I know I'm always here preaching the Bears defense, but it definitely hasn't looked as good as of late. And the Lions are scoring 40, 50 points a game. So yeah, I think they could
Yeah.
cover this over on their own.
All right, so my pick of the day, I'm going to go back to the wheelhouse. I think they go to him early and often against a horrible defense. It's going to be CD Lamb. I think he's scoring, and I think he's probably going to go over his receiving yards, but I'll give out CD Lamb to get in the end zone. He hasn't gotten the end zone in a couple weeks. I think he finally finds the end zone in this one. CD Lamb to have a big day on Thanksgiving.
Don't hate that. Giants DBs stop a can't think of a metaphor this early in the morning, but they can't do anything, right?
I mean, look what like the Bucks have all backups in. I mean, isn't Sterling Shepard one of their starting receivers? And I mean, Baker Mayfield threw all over them.
Yeah, I think Bucky Irving had like 75 receiving yards. It was a
It
mess.
was nuts.
Big
It was
big
a
Sterling Shepard revenge game.
Yeah,
He
what
had
it
a
was.
2 yard receptions over there. He could still run a little stick route and catch a pass.
Yeah, that's what he does. But shit, man, it should be a fun day of football. If I got to go down the board, I'll take the Lions, I'll take the Cowboys, and I'll take the Packers. 3-0. There's your Thanksgiving parlay. Good luck to all.
I like the Packers. I like the Lions, but let's go Giants.
Let's go Giants. I don't know why you'd be rooting for wins, but that's the delusional Giant fan for you.
It's Thanksgiving. I want to be happy.
Nothing good comes out of winning that game.
It's the way they draft. Like I can't expect them to get it right with number one overall. So as long as they're up there, like, I don't care. And if you really want to get into, and I won't because I know Jack's in a hurry, but number 2 pick might have been the right choice in this last draft. Honestly, number
What's the
3,
numbers?
Drake May and Jaden kind of look better than Caleb right now.
Yeah, I mean they do, but it is what it is, and it was what it was. But why don't we jump into the mic of the week so we can wrap this thing up, and I can turn my full attention to putting fires out. Because the one time I need things to go smoothly, the one time I need things to go right, and it's call on the fire brigade because it's a forest fire.
Yeah, we'll let
That's
I know Jack's gotta dip real quick here for a work meeting, but we'll let you go. Happy Thanksgiving, and send me those roundtable questions so the people can read it tomorrow.
Will do. Happy Thanksgiving, everybody.
Happy Thanksgiving. See you, brother man. All right. The two-man mic of the week, as always, presented by, I don't know if we have a sponsor for the mic of the week. So if anybody wants to jump in and sponsor our final segment of the midweek show, the opportunity is now. The door's open, the DMs are open. Hop in, sponsor our final segment. It could be good. Could be good. But Brian, why
It
don't we
will be
jump?
good, not could be. It will be good.
It
Trying to
will be
sell
good.
something here.
Yeah, well, they'll figure it out. You're right. It will be good. But the mic of the week presented by hopefully you, soon to be sponsor. But Bry, who was your mic of the week? What surprised you, man?
I'll keep it short, but I alluded to it earlier. Tommy DeVito is injured with a forearm injury, questionable to play on Thanksgiving. I don't know what the Giants are doing. You're clearly just still analyzing if he's able to play, if he's the right quarterback, and he's not. It's Drew Lock. You brought in Drew Lock to be the backup for a reason. So just let Drew Lock play.
Yeah, and he sat behind him all year, and then you release Daniel Jones and bring in DeVito, who clearly is not an NFL quarterback. I mean, there's a reason why he was QB3. Um, I mean, oh my Lord, he stinks. I mean, he's really, really bad.
Yeah, I mean, his one job should just be to throw Malik Neighbors the football, and now Malik Neighbors is bitching at the media again because he's not getting the football. And if he can't do that, bring Drew Lock in.
Yeah, I mean, he's saying basically like, "Hey, look, I don't get the ball in the beginning of the game, and by the time they throw me the ball, we're already down 30 points. So what am I supposed to do?" And again, I'm never for guys publicly bashing the team, organization, coaching, decision making, that whole thing to the media. But I feel his pain, and I agree with him. I think there's got to be something there. And how long is it going to take until he is like fully disgruntled and wants out of New York?
I think it's already happened.
Yeah, it definitely disgruntled. I'm not going to say wants out of New York, but definitely disgruntled, and that would be wild. I mean, I don't know that after your rookie year you can force your way out of an organization. I don't know. Can you?
You could. You could sit out and just not play, but no, they'll draft a
I don't think he's
quarterback,
going to do that.
and hopefully that quarterback in the league will get along and be the combo for years to come.
What quarterback are they drafting?
Well, I know the one I want's not. You're gonna make fun of me, but I want Cam Ward.
Really? You think he's your saving grace?
Yeah, I like Cam. The Giants have never had a Cam Ward type of quarterback that's actually like electrifying and not a Eli Manning archetype. So I would like to see a little switch up.
Gotcha. But my mic of the week will be NFL based and Eagles centric, and maybe it's a mic of the week, maybe it's not. But I noticed as Nick Sirianni was walking off the field on Sunday, he's got a little bit of hair on the head, dude. The hair's starting to pop in, and I'm getting nervous because now they face a tough bet. I really, really hope I see Sunday when I turn the Eagles game on, that thing is glistening off the sunlight and is bald. I mean, Baldiani. You're 6-0 with the Baldiani era. You're starting to get the hair back. I would prefer if you go bald. So I was a little worried, a little surprised that I saw the hair coming through on Sunday Night Football. I was like, "Whoa, dog! You gotta get that thing shaved."
Yeah, I'd be a little worried too. And he's got to get coached or yeah, Big Dom to grab the razor and straight edge his head. Get that thing bald again.
I can't believe that I saw that, but it is what it is. And what a tough game to go into. Out of all the games where you need to be bald, it's this week in Baltimore.
Yeah, you have to be bald.
You
You're
have
not
to
stopping
be.
Derrick Henry with a full head of hair.
No, you are not. So, yeah, that surprised me to see that the hair, especially like obviously he knows the Baldiani era. Like he sees social media, he sees it around. Like there's no way he doesn't know what's going on.
Yeah, I could see him being the type of guy that's like annoyed at the gimmick, and he's like, "I'm just gonna grow some hair so I can prove that it's not just the Baldiani, and we're actually a good football team."
Yeah, it is what it is, but hopefully that I have a bad feeling about Sunday after seeing that. I really hope that he's bald on Sunday. And I'll leave it at that. I'll leave it at that. No bad juju on Thanksgiving, but like I said, it's Thanksgiving. Hope everybody has a great Thanksgiving. Brian, hope your Thanksgiving goes great. And we will see everybody this weekend. Maybe a couple live shows, maybe not. We'll see where we get on that. But definitely Monday morning, we will have the fresh reaction to all the action on NFL week 13, 14. I
I
don't
think we're
even
on
know what
13.
week it is.
I think we're
It's
on
tough,
13.
dude. It's tough to keep
Yeah,
track.
you lose track after a while. So
You
we've
really
been
do.
doing a lot of these.
We have been doing a lot of these, but we'll have all the reaction to the NFL week this week, and we hope everybody has a fantastic Thanksgiving. Let us know in the comments below what your favorite Thanksgiving dish is. That's all I got. Hope everybody has a great one, like I said, and I will catch y'all in the next one. Peace.
Happy Thanksgiving, everybody. Let's get a Maui Invitational Championship.